We're trying to get the microphone situated here with Ryan Leaf. I don't know if Ryan broke it, but let's see. He didn't break it. Okay. All right. That's why we can't have nice things.
Not a good sign, though, if Paul's being the tech guy. That's things have gone askew. Speaking of wonky, things have gone askew.
All right, I'll come in and fix it.
Do you want to? We'll just hold it. You just hold the microphone there, Ryan. How's that? Okay. How about we turn on his microphone here?
This one here?
Yeah. All right. What do we have? All right.
Live television. Live television, everybody.
All right.
But the thing is, you want this. That's the Dan Patrick show.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
you need that.
Yeah.
Ryan is, of course, college football NFL analyst for Westwood One and NFL Network, and the CEO of Ram Consultant Incorporated, college football and NFL analyst. You can see him on Good Morning Football. Good to see you again. Let me start with the college football weekend. Notre Dame and USC. If you were Notre Dame and you're game planning for USC, what would you do?
Well, I would attack their defense because that's where they're so vulnerable. I don't think they're bad defensively, Dan. I think that unfortunately Alex Grinch he tends to get. He's the defensive coordinator. He tends to get a little too complicated. You see him running some different schemes defensively, and that leaves gaps open all over the field. When they're talented enough, I mean, they recruit well enough to have the right guys there to do the work that they need to do. But he just gets them into some awkward situations, and all of a sudden they're being gashed because the gap integrity is lost, and the offense is relying totally now on Caleb Williams to save them. And with what they have over the next 6 weeks, that's going to be really difficult. I actually see them probably losing maybe 3 of the 6 games here down the stretch.
USC, loses 3.
I don't think they escape South Bend actually.
Well, Notre Dame's favored by 3. By the way, who came up with gap integrity?
I believe it was Socrates.
Yeah, but why? It sounds like a Mike Mayock.
Well, as soon as it was said, all analysts jumped to it. So and I'm guilty of that as well.
I don't know what gap integrity means.
Okay, so like when somebody has integrity, it's good stuff, like good integrity, right? Gap integrity is about good solid in your right gap on the defensive side of the football. When you do not have gap integrity.
Why do we need to say
what
that?
would you use something else? They were in the wrong spot? Just say they're in the wrong spot. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't, because it's analytic-y.
Like we're going to throw the ball, vertically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the top off the like it feels like, three technique guy.
I think what you just, I'm guilty of it too. I've been swayed by the gap integrity conversation. Probably heard it from Orlovsky. I tend to take a lot of stuff from Orlovsky because he's really good at it. And so yeah, that's probably where I got it from.
But it feels like it's a secret language that only analysts have this. You can't use this, just us.
Yeah.
The guys who, we played. We know what set the edge means. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, the set the edge part. I was like, just make sure he doesn't get outside you.
It's like everybody's got to have their favorite. What were the other oins that Mayock would have?
Oily hips, waistbender.
Waistbender was big, and oily hips.
Oily hips, huh? That was my problem. I didn't have oily hips, guys. That was the problem.
We finally figured it out.
Figured it out after 25 years, but we got it.
Who did we have on who was falling in love with Drake May? Was that Orlovsky? Orlovsky likes Drake May. It feels like he likes him more than he does Caleb Williams.
Okay, the thing, my guy is Michael Penix Jr., so that's where we would differ.
You take him over these other two?
Yeah, I'd take Penix over both of them.
If you had the number 1 pick in the draft,
yes,
you would take Michael Penix.
Yes, because of what Kalen DeBoer does offensively with Ryan Grubb. It's a very pro-style offense. Also, he doesn't get sacked. He gets the ball out of his hand, and that doesn't mean just quickly. Sometimes it's down the field for big shots quickly out of. He does not get sacked. The last 2 years, you look at what Caleb Williams has had to do. You're not going to be able to do that in the NFL, where you're going to be able to go backwards, run all over the place, and make a play. Now, maybe he will, but it hasn't been sustainable for a lot of guys. I mean, Patrick Mahomes uses it when he needs to. It seems like Caleb Williams has to do it all the time. I think Drake May is probably a good fit there as well in terms of what he can do. But I think he's a lot like Sam Howell. I do. I think they're very similar, just not only because they're from North Carolina. Michael Penix Jr. for me, and this is hard for me to say, being a Washington Husky, rocking a Coug shirt on your show here. But I just like him a lot, and I love what Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb bring to the table in terms of their offensive philosophy and what it can look like when it translates to the NFL game.
I like that. Okay. Because I agree with you. Caleb Williams won't be able to play this way in the NFL.
No.
He may have moments, plays that he can play like this, but, the game is just so much quicker, as you know, getting ball out, your reads when you throw it away, all of those things. But Orlovsky loved Drake May.
I haven't studied him enough. I've been breaking down a little bit of what the Miami-UNC matchup is for this weekend, just because of what went down with Miami last week, because I wanted this game to be such a big deal. And last week's decision by Mario Cristobal kind of put that to the side a little bit, and hopefully it won't beat him twice. So I think this will go a long way for Drake May if he can have a really good game against the likes of the Miami Hurricanes in a division or in a conference. And then, hopefully they'll get to a championship game against Florida State, who's really good.
So so I have it correct. If you had the number 1 pick in the draft and needed a quarterback, you would take Michael Penix Jr.
Yeah, he to me is Trevor Lawrence. He to me is Andrew Luck. That's what I believe in him. I mean,
okay.
It's not the same, but the Heisman Trophy sounds are starting to come out a lot louder around Michael Penix Jr. I think he's like the number 2 guy right now.
I think he might be number 1.
And I tell you, now he's got a great opportunity. They got Oregon at home this weekend, right? This is the 5th top 10 matchup at Husky Stadium ever. It's going to be a huge deal. It's a close game. They beat him in Eugene last year. Then he's got a November 11th matchup at SC against Caleb Williams. He goes down there, they win, and he beats the reigning Heisman Trophy winner. His stock is going to skyrocket, and so I'm trying to get on that train earlier than most.
We're talking to Ryan Leaf joining us, and a Washington State grad.
Yeah.
I don't understand the battle going on with you and GameDay with Washington State.
I took the high road on that thing. I said, hey, I didn't like that you didn't celebrate our team, and rather than made it a joke. That was the only thing I said. I love GameDay. I love Kirk Herbstreit. But
I thought they were jabbing the Pac-12, not Washington State. Coach Corso is so pro college football.
I know.
From the standpoint, he doesn't say negative things. I'm watching that live, and I thought he said the nobody wants us bowl.
He does.
No, he says nobody watch.
He says nobody wants us bowl.
I think he says nobody watches.
I
And maybe
think it was the other way.
Okay.
I think Dickert heard no one watches us bowl. And what he really said was no one wants us bowl, because no one wants those two teams.
Okay. So
it makes
factually,
sense.
he's correct.
He's correct.
Okay.
But what he did afterward and the crying and then McAfee kind of jumping on that.
Okay.
I didn't like that part. I just, it was my alma mater. These kids didn't need to be made fun of. You had a chance to celebrate them. So I said something.
Do you want a piece of McAfee?
No, I don't. As my wife has told me over and over, stay away from that. That is bad karma. And she's right. She's right. She's absolutely right.
Let's bring in Pat McAfee, Paulie. Hey, Pat McAfee.
I just wanted to celebrate college football, and unfortunately, but they doubled down on it too. So I've let them kind of run with it, and
yeah, they're not letting go.
No, and unfortunately, that's I love college football games. I love doing that, and that's the disappointing part in all this.
Help me understand this, that Kellen Moore was the offensive coordinator with the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's with the Chargers. The Chargers play the Cowboys on Monday night. How much input information do you think is relevant to what he knows about the Cowboys to what then he can give to his team?
Well, I don't think he can necessarily give anything to his team. I don't buy into that a lot because the game's too fast. Trying to tell somebody in a week lead up to a game what they're going to do in this, that's not going to.
But is there a cadence that you can get? Is there signals?
Maybe cadence, but I will say this. He has gone up against Dan Quinn in that defense every day in practice for the last 2 years. So he has an understanding of how to call offense against that. I'm not so partial to the idea that he's going to be able to tell the defense what Matt McCarthy's going to be able to do.
Okay.
He knows what Dan Quinn, his tendencies are more or less, because he went against him every day. I mean, they put practice scripts against one another for 3 years together or whatever it was. So that, for me, is more beneficial than him being able to tell the defense what Mike McCarthy is going to call or do with a player's tendency. That's where I think the success comes from. They get Austin Eckler back. Justin Herbert is a stud, and hopefully Quentin Johnston is going to be able to add to the mix now that Mike Williams is out.
Why don't we celebrate Austin Eckler the way we do Christian McCaffrey?
He wasn't a first-round pick, maybe.
But his numbers are better than Christian McCaffrey.
It's just it's a mindset thing. It really is. The anchor that you wear, both good and bad, when it comes to being a top draft pick, it's a branding thing. And the other thing is it just maybe not as excitable. I love Austin Eckler and what he brings to the table.
Well, McCaffrey has a novelty to him, being a white running back.
He does. He does. And to be the best running back in the NFL right now in terms of his production, that leads to the great white hope mentality.
Yeah, but Austin Eckler has put up these great numbers.
I agree with you.
And then tried to get a new contract. The Chargers see what you can get. And then he has to crawl back. And now he gets, this is a big moment for him.
It is a
standalone game.
It's a huge moment. He hasn't played since week 1, but he was great in that game. He's been banged up a little bit. Now he gets to do it on Monday Night Football against the America's team, who's coming off just an absolute embarrassment in San Francisco. So, I mean, this is big for both squads. You know me, I'm a huge fan of Justin Herbert. I just love watching the guy play. I love the guy that he is. I don't know if I've ever seen anything so substantial that when he got hammered on the sideline by the Las Vegas Raider guy, the entire team came to his aid. I mean, if that didn't showcase how beloved
that's a good sign.
He is in that locker room for that organization.
Did you ever get knocked down close to the sidelines and waited for your teammates to get up and get in somebody's face?
I can't. At the NFL level, I would assume no one came to pick me up. But in college, my 5 guys up front, they literally laid down in traffic for me at one point. Do you remember the movie The Program?
I know it.
Yeah. So initially, when it was first released,
there's a scene.
There's a scene in it,
and they're laying in traffic.
Well, the quarterback says that to him. He goes, "What are you willing to do for me?" And they go down and lay down in literal traffic, like down the. Well, apparently, after that scene ran, kids went out and tried it. Someone got injured and hurt, and so they pulled the scene from the movie.
Yeah.
But me and the old lineman went and saw it. Like, we literally did that. I walked out of it, and I was like, what are you guys willing to do for me here? Just idiotic 19-year-old kids, probably, hyped up on some Busch Light. I don't know. And we went lay down in traffic in Moscow, Idaho. But it didn't endear to that. They were the Fat Five. 2 of them were walk-ons. I mean, those guys, we went to battle. Yeah, they stood up for me a ton, not only in games, but off the field as well.
Golly. Yeah.
Good guys.
I've asked the Danettes, what are they willing to do for me?
Hey, you know what? I think that I think that you're not around when I spend time with a lot of them. Paulie and I go to dinner.
Mm-hmm.
His daughters take care of my son when we do, and they are very grateful for you, and they would probably do a lot more than you think.
Yeah, Paulie.
We had a talk, and we may not lay down in traffic, but we'll sit through traffic like a jam to get here to work.
So to get to work, they would sit in traffic.
Sit in traffic.
That's something.
Okay.
A lot of people.
Seton and Fritzy do sit in traffic when they
Put
come.
a lot of miles on my car.
Thoughts and prayers.
Yeah.
I've turned back a couple of times when the construction was too bad or I couldn't get there. I'm like, what?
I've bent Paulie's ear about having 2 daughters. You have all daughters. My wife and I, who's here in the green room, we're about to go do our 34-week ultrasound, and it's a little girl.
Oh.
And so they had the shower, and they brought home a lot of the pink stuff, and I looked around for the first time. I think it finally hit me. There's never been a girl in our family. Like, my mom and dad had 3 boys, and then like all the daughters of my grandparents had all boys, and so we've had a cousin. Who's a girl in the family, but no one, this will be the first one for me, like, even having any tendency of like, what am I going to do? So I think I'm going to, you guys are going to have to be real mentors for me through this process.
Well, I'll be more than happy to do that.
I appreciate that. That's going to be
So your
helpful.
son's name is MacGyver. Your daughter going to have a TV show like Buffy Vampire Slayer?
We've told people this, but I don't know if Anna wants me blabbing it out, but she's okay. We decided with Claiborne, And Bo was the BO and the Born was what my son gravitated to. So we started, like, at night he'll come in, talk to her belly and say, "Hey, Bo, what are you eating in there? You having pizza?" And now she's really active and she's like punching and like kicking and stuff. So MacGyver can see it. And then her middle name's going to be Marvel. So there's but not because of the movie, because, you guys have known me long enough. We struggled with 4 miscarriages during the pandemic. And so the fact that this happened is a marvel. And so that's what Anna wanted. And so we're going to go Claiborne, Marvel, Leaf. And we both started talking about this the other night. We bet she ends up walking out of there going, "You're going to call me Marvel," is what you're going to call me.
It's like a Kardashian name, Marvel.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think this is a Leaf name, and we're happy about it.
Look at you doing big boy stuff, man.
Yeah. At 47,
Yeah.
I'll be 65 when she graduates from high school. All her friends are going to be like, "Hey, your grandpa came. How cool!"
I've gone through that.
You've gone through that one
Yeah,
too.
oh yeah. It's like, whose grandfather's here? Oh, that's my dad.
Yeah.
Man, is he old? Hey, great to talk to you.
You too. Good to see you.
Yes, and we'll take a break. We'll come back with phone calls here. Chase Daniel is going to join us. You have more touchdown passes than Chase Daniel?
Somebody sent me that, and I said, "No, you're wrong. You're wrong about that."
How many touchdown passes did you throw?
14.
14. Paulie, now we can't include preseason in this, though, Paulie.
No,
Chase
if we
is-
went preseason, then I would have a lot. 'Cause I'm a
Okay.
preseason Hall of Famer.
Chase is Tom Brady too in the preseason.
Yes, he is. Chase Daniel might be the best preseason quarterback of all time.
Pretty good. I was pretty good, though.
Chase Daniel career touchdown passes 9.
Oh,
Someone sent that to me, and I was like, "How many years did he play? 15?"
Yeah, 15. 13.
well, he was on a team for 13 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he got paid to play professional football for 13 years or whatever it was.
He went 2-3 as a starter.
I went 4-17, so I beat him there too. Okay,
Yeah.
hey, the day's turning up for me,
Yeah,
boys.
yeah.
Yep.
Things are looking up. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, guys.
Ryan Leaf joining us. We're back after this.